You're listening to Ruthie's Table 4 in partnership with Moncler. When I met my husband, Richard, an architect, he was so keen for us to work together. He wanted me to change my career and become an architect, too. In the end, our partnership took a different shape, and I opened the restaurant 5 steps away from his office. He did the drawings, I made the soup. The River Cafe began. Tina Fey has been on Ruthie's Table 4, and she's, in fact, our first returning guest. When we first met, she spoke about food being a major part of her life, but she only brought one half of her team. The other half, Jeff Richmond, is now here with us. A composer, producer, director, Jeff is Tina's creative partner, and he's her husband. He says he does all the cooking. Tina and Jeff have collaborated together on almost everything, and now they're here in London to open the Mean Girls musical at the Savoy Theatre. I am going on opening night. Today we're going to talk about love, marriage, work, family, and most of all, food. What a team.
Hi, Ruthie.
Hi, Ruthie. Pleasure to be here.
So you know the kind of drill is we read a recipe. When you were here, we had the slow-cooked tomato sauce. And in the winter, we use the jars of tomatoes. And right now, we have beautiful tomatoes in season. So we made a fresh tomato sauce.
So you want to read it and I'll just kind of underscore it?
Okay.
Yeah, do you want the piano?
Yeah.
All right, this is a recipe for Tagliarini with San Marzano tomato sauce. 200 grams of San Marzano tomatoes, skinned, seeded, and chopped. 300 grams of Tagliarini, did I say that right? 2 garlic cloves cut into slivers. 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. A handful of fresh basil, extra virgin olive oil. Here come the instruction part, Jeff.
Okay.
Here comes the instruction part. Fry the garlic in the olive oil until it turns golden brown. Add the tomatoes and season well. Cook gently for 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. Put the tagliarini in boiling salted water, drain and combine with the sauce. Add torn up basil and extra virgin olive oil. Serve immediately. Take that, Stanley Tucci.
Take that, Tucci.
That's beautiful. So we're here, and we were thinking, when were you here last? You were here about a couple of months ago.
Like a month ago?
So we weren't quite in this is now, June is getting into the summery season. How's your garden?
It's lovely. I planted lettuce, lots of lettuce. Lettuce is coming up, tomatoes all over the place. Yeah, and I had to rush home to be sure I was getting everything in the ground.
I remember zucchini. Were you doing zucchini?
I got zucchini in this last week.
Did you get the flowers?
Lots of flowers.
Yeah.
I like to put a lot of flowers in the garden to attract the pollinators.
Yeah.
And mix them all in so that the bees show up. You got to give something to the bees.
Did you ever think of doing honey?
Yes, I'm thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
And you can ask Tina.
Yeah.
I've already
to do honey next.
Yeah.
found a little place over the hill and say,
Oh,
although
nice.
people are oddly, well, maybe not that oddly,
A bit
nervous
worried
about
it.
having
No,
a home
no,
of bees.
No, I don't think so. You should just have
Not
them.
me.
No,
They're the-
we were going to do it. We always thought about doing it on the roof of that building and
Oh,
having
beautiful.
bees in Hammersmith.
Oh,
yeah.
so nice. The weather's been very nice. It's been wet in a good way.
Here it's really cold.
Chilly.
And we're getting things late, like the melons melons start coming
Right.
usually early May, and now they're coming later, and so we're
Yeah.
it just all feels
So the whole
a bit
farm to
late.
table thing, you're like, oh no, the climate change, we got to
I know.
plan ahead
Just
for
think
whatever's
about
next.
what we're going to have and what we don't have, and a lot of our vegetables we grow here. We do have English, blueberries and strawberries and all that, but a lot of the interesting vegetables come from Italy. So
I suppose it's
we're
not that
doing
much difference, like, because when we go, all right, we're in New York, we get a lot of our vegetables in New Jersey and stuff when the season's
Yeah.
right, but then in the off season it's coming from,
California,
California,
yeah.
Florida, which
There's
is like
no
the same
season.
distance,
Yeah.
So I
No,
guess that
there's no
makes perfect
season.
sense.
Yeah.
You foraged your ramps this spring.
Did you forage?
I did. I was this is kind of fun. So over the hill, this was the year, we've had this home for like 4 years, and we've had a beautiful back end of the property that goes over the back. And I said, well, let's clear it out this year so we can just see what's down there. We'll put a little house or a little building or something, or a bench, something for simple people. And they had cleared it out, and I went down there. And I said, oh my gosh, from my childhood, here's ramps.
Could talk about ramps? I'm not really sure what ramps.
So ramps are like something else.
Probably called something a spring onion or a garlic. But they're very short-lived. They pop up in the kind of the wet part of the early spring.
So it's like wild garlic. It's like
Yeah,
wild
yes,
garlic.
yes,
It's like
yes.
wild garlic, maybe.
Really strong garlic flavor.
Very strong.
Yeah.
And it's delicious to cook with. And when you eat them, they come out your pores.
Yeah, you sweat. You,
You
sweat
sweat
garlic for a couple
garlic.
days.
So tell me about growing up and food in your house. But did you grow up with, you say your mom cooked? And
Yes.
so what
And
did
your
you
grandparents.
My grandparents. So I lived, we grew up in rural, in the country, and it was very...
Where did you grow
I
up?
grew up in West Virginia, and then we moved to Ohio. When we were in West Virginia, my dad was a coal miner, and he said, we got to get out of
In
here.
both places, he was a coal miner.
Coal miner. No, and when we went to Ohio, he was many things.
Yeah.
He just kind of kept bouncing around. It was
Just
different.
left West Virginia to get out of coal mining.
Yeah,
Could
that
get
was
out
the
of
thing,
coal mining,
To get out of
yeah.
the coal mining
Yeah.
business. So no matter what it was never crazy lucrative. But I was 3 boys, and my parents and my grandparents on my father's side, we all lived together. So it was like the Waltons, if anybody's familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, 3 boys. Nobody's afraid of eating. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
loves to eat. And eating together, breakfast and lunch and dinner.
Breakfast, you're talking about eggs every day,
Every day.
bacon every
Really?
day.
Before going to school?
Biscuits.
Yes, biscuits, the whole bottle
Gravy,
of wax.
red-eye gravy?
Gravy
Or is that a
not
special
red-eye
thing?
gravy, just regular what they call just white gravy that's made with like bacon fat.
What is
And by
that?
the way, it's delicious.
Bacon
What
fat,
is it?
flour.
Oh, it's like you just bacon fat, and then you make a roux by putting in flour,
Yeah.
of course, into just bacon drippings, salt and pepper, and then you add just whole milk. Stir it, pour it over the most delicious hot biscuit right out of the oven. It's like a scone.
It's like a scone, yeah.
Yeah,
But with that, I think
savory
scones
scone.
are slightly sweet as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
And so it's very typical. Probably something to fill up people as well.
Oh, for
was
sure.
Was that did you have toast as well, or would you just
Sometimes toast. Oh yeah, and toast.
Did your grandparents, were they born in the United States? Did they have
They
a
were.
tradition?
They did it. Kind of the interesting, when my grandparents, when they were young, so this is in the 20s and 30s and in the 40s. And in those days, people that worked in coal mines, they lived in towns that were built by the coal mining companies.
Right.
And so in those, it was full of immigrants. So my grandmother, learned all her cooking from Italian immigrants and Irish immigrants. So like when we would have Italian food at home, I had gnocchi all the time,
Really?
but I never knew it was called gnocchi. It was called 2 fingers because of the way you make it, where you roll the dough and you do this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I never heard of it as gnocchi until I was
Yeah.
like a grown man.
Yeah.
Delicious, but the food was so good and it was so important to them. And the other thing I just remembered about that was that all the ladies would get up. There was really a community. The women would get up, send all the men to the mine, into the mine at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
That was first breakfast. Then about 9:30, all the ladies would have second breakfast.
Together.
Which was together. They would
Because their husbands were off
they're
in
gone,
the
and
mines.
they had nothing to do but cook and do that. So second breakfast. We often have second breakfast.
I like a 2 breakfast system.
You're a 2 breakfast person. Yeah, so you get up at 6:30. So when you described that, was you and your brothers would have breakfast at 6:30 before your dad
Before we
went
went to school, we'd all have breakfast. Yeah,
Wow.
like 6:30, 7
And
o'clock.
then he'd go off to the mines. And then did he take a kind of lunch with him, do you think, down there?
Ale, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
your mom would have to make it, or at the mine?
my dad wouldn't make it.
Because the Cornish
fruit.
miners here,
Yeah.
there's a thing called the Cornish pasty.
Oh.
And somebody told me once that was for the miners who would put everything. They'd make this kind of meat, sort of stew type thing, and they put it inside this pastry.
Kinda like an
And it's like a
empanada.
big, heavy thing. And then, exactly. And then you go down into the mine. Yeah.
Makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You want to have something that you can
Yeah.
pull out of a thing, not get
Without-
filthy,
you didn't-
dirty,
yeah,
and eat really
yeah,
quickly,
yeah. Was it fearful, him going down?
I think it was for them,
Yeah.
And by the time I was 6 or 7, we had moved and just lived in Ohio. But I think those
Yeah.
early days,
And do you think that part of it was the reason to move was that he didn't want you and your brothers to have to do
miners,
that
yeah.
job? Yeah.
Oh, you find the real cool story nuggets. That's true. You didn't want us to do that.
Yeah. And your grandparents moved with you?
Yes.
It's interesting that in a lot of these interviews, the role of the grandparent in food, you talked about your Greek
Yep.
family as well. didn't
Yeah,
you?
I mean, my grandparents were, they were gone already, but again, very communal in the neighborhood. And somebody's grandma was always baking cookies, like baking gurulaikia and gurabiedes and all those things.
And you had a lot of
so
still like first generation Greek.
it was really
Yeah.
Greek, yeah.
And the food is delicious.
Yeah.
But also the grandparents kind of, I always say, keep they bring the food with them and keep it. The mothers adapt, the children
Right.
really conform, but the grandmothers keep the food. People talk a lot about their grandparents' food, and remember their grandparents' food.
It's a
and
huge part of
Yeah.
because my mother didn't know how to cook until she got married. That's what I remember, and that my grandmother, Perline,
How's that for a
taught
great
her to
name?
cook.
Perline. Beautiful.
Perline.
Perline, and her mother's name was Icy. Those are some old.
What are those names? Are they
from the hills? I'm not even
the
sure.
hills, yeah.
They were all Welsh, Irish, Scottish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Italian.
So you kind of grew up in this household where both of you. Well, you had breakfast as well. Did you have breakfast?
We didn't have that kind of, no, that kind of like bacon and eggs breakfast was maybe on a weekend. I grew up some regular suburban, box of sugar
Yeah.
cereal in the morning.
Well, food was important in your house.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody really cared about
Yeah.
the food in your
Yeah.
house too. And I always think it's interesting when you think, what next? So then you grow up in this house, and you do probably with your children. I've done it with mine, where you really the food is about getting together in the evening. It's about talking. It's about tradition, as you say.
Right.
And then you go off to college, and it's what? So you went to Kent State. What year were you in Kent State?
81.
When I saw that you'd been there, it just so resonates.
Yes.
The minute you hear somebody's been to Kent State, it means something.
When I went there, it was
People
10
who are
years
listening
after.
might know. Should we tell them
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
was?
So in 1970, in the States, when there was so much civil unrest, there were
Anti-Vietnam
Anti-Vietnam. The States had just announced that they were going to push into Cambodia, so everybody, and the war wasn't going to end. So all these, students whose lives were at risk, they were going to protest, and there was a lot of protests, peaceful protests that eventually became not quite as peaceful. They sent in the National Guard to kind of sit on the students, which resulted in, after a couple of days of just mayhem, of 4 students getting shot and killed, and that is kind of that.
Yeah.
But that was a historic event.
So I just come to London from New York, and it was,
Right.
we all knew what we were all protesting, we were all doing that, but to actually be killed,
In the
by
line of doing that,
protesting
yeah.
at a college was something.
I remember, and I just remember the day that it happened, because I grew up near Kent in Ohio, and an announcement on the news that this had just happened, and it was, horrible. Everybody was just scared. It was very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
did you do in college for food? Did you cook, or did you just grab a sandwich? Did you just have fast food?
I didn't live on campus. I lived off campus. So you tried to find a way to buy a booklet of food and eat in the cafeterias. And it was like a ticket program where you tore them off. So it was so much. We would also eat about every meal at a diner called Perkins.
Perkins.
Sure. And we would eat a lot of meals there.
Yeah.
And you would go there after class and stay there really late and just drink a lot of coffee. Occasionally cooking. Yeah. And other people
Is that
cooking.
did you cook at home? Did you ever cook
Yes.
with your mother?
Yeah.
She did.
Jeff and his brother.
My
are
brother
very
both
good
are the
cook. Yeah.
cooks in our home. One brother never really glommed on it, but it's that kind of masculine cooking, I guess. It's that kind
Yeah.
of
Barbecuing, you
meat
say?
and
Yeah.
but inside too. But
Yeah.
yeah, like roasts and
Yeah.
starch.
What do you cook on these?
A lot of chicken. I cook
Roast
a lot of
chicken a lot
roast
of
chickens
times.
because that's what everybody loves.
Pork
Do you have a
shoulder.
special
Pork shoulders.
Do you have a special way of cooking a roast chicken? Everybody has
Everybody
their
has
own
different
technique.
Yeah. I've gone a couple of different. Lately, I was doing a thing like a chicken in a pot, where I would take a whole chicken, and I would put it in a pot with the lid on top of the stove for a while. Then take the lid off and put the whole thing in the oven but still leaving a lot of liquid in it. But normally, it's just old school roast.
Yes.
Nothing fancy, like not putting butter under the skin, just a chicken cooked by itself.
When you first met in Chicago,
Yeah.
what was food like there?
And Chicago is a really good food city. There's like really delicious food there. But it was also, we would work late and we would end up at this amazing old school diner every night after the show.
Called the Golden Apple.
Golden Apple
Golden
Diner.
Apple.
Which also kind of makes sense in a family way because I ate there probably twice a day.
There was a stretch where we would eat there, go before the show, and then again after the show.
I love that.
And it was in the same waitress I know, Donna, who.
Thank you. There was actually like an NPR This American Life podcast about Donna.
In Chicago, she was. Everybody went.
Yeah. And so that felt
what was
like.
She like? Was she kind of young?
She's from Oklahoma.
Was she like those movie waitresses in diners? I remember the one in Five
is.
Like Pieces. It's always a diner scene, and it's that waitress who's slightly sassy and
she
kind
was
of
like tall,
she was more elegant
striking,
and sassy.
Oklahoma woman, maybe in her 50s
maybe
at the time.
Certainly her 50s.
And real warm.
So warm, and she was and people just loved her.
She was
witty.
Yeah.
She was kind of famous. But anyway, that was another extension of family and eating. I mean,
being a regular,
and everybody saying hello, and it was Greek owned.
Sure,
Yes,
of course. I'm a big fan of a late night breakfast, so like a scrambled eggs and a Belgian waffle.
Yeah.
Could also eat a lot more.
You get a
23.
A hot veal.
Oh yeah, our friend Scott Assett used to get the hot veal every night.
No, picture this piece of veal, deep fried.
Deep fried.
The place called the Athenian Room.
Oh yeah, that place. I've talked about that place a lot.
Yeah,
it was a little Greek place, a little better than a diner, but they would do these kind of Greek lemon chickens on rotisseries, and then they would let the fat drip onto the French fries.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Into the French fries.
Yeah.
So they were like a cottage fry or a
Really.
fry thing, and there was so much lemon and even vinegar on the everything.
Yeah.
It had a bite and a tang, and the skin was so crispy. I had never had a chicken that tasted so
get that
good in
with
my
like a
life.
big wad
I'm always
of peanut
chasing that
feta.
chicken.
Was it part of falling in love, your love for food, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Could you date somebody who didn't like food or didn't care about food? Do you think?
I don't think so, because I think there's a weird disconnect with people who don't like food.
I don't understand
understand.
someone who's like doesn't care about food.
Yeah.
Oh, Tina used to do this hilarious bit when we were first dating. It has to do with chocolate cake.
Yeah.
And
It's so stupid.
it's so stupid, but this is one of the reasons I fell in love with her. And we would be at the Improv Theater doing something, and somebody would have cake, and you would come up, and you would put chocolate cake right here covering up one of your teeth.
On purpose.
And you would just start talking, and it looked like you had just had a tooth knocked out, but you would play it like
I didn't know.
like you didn't know. Yeah. I don't know why. Why was that so funny?
I don't know, but it's what this marriage is
Wasted
based on.
cake, right?
But do you think about food a lot, both
I
of
think we
you?
wake up in the morning,
Do you
have
wake up in the
coffee,
morning?
and plan dinner.
Do you?
Very much so.
Yeah.
We have our we look forward to our coffee in the morning so much.
So no big breakfast in the
No,
not the eggs and the
I do.
biscuits and the
Not biscuits, but an egg. And
How do you make your eggs?
different ways? You normally like either sunny side up or over easy. I've been trying to get better at poaching eggs
Oh yeah, okay.
because this is delicious.
I like a poached egg.
I do too.
Yeah, I think with a poached egg, my slight opinion is that you don't have to be afraid of putting too much vinegar in the water.
See, that might be it because I put like a
Yeah.
cap full.
No, don't worry. I mean, I don't think
It's not gonna do
I mean, but I don't think you need. Oh, nor do you need a lot of water. So then you don't need a lot. But I think that vinegar chemical something is.
Tightens it up,
yeah,
right?
maybe it really makes it.
Do you
easier.
swirl the water?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
That's
Yeah.
what I had learned, that you vinegar and then take a spoon and get the water.
Oh, I see. And then
churn,
you have
and then
a
when you
little
drop
well.
the egg in the middle,
Oh,
it
okay.
shapes it quicker.
Yeah. Do you eat eggs in the morning?
I do eat some. I have perfected a boiled egg. I like a hard boiled egg.
That's a really hard thing to perfect. I have
So
to
many
say.
different
I
ways.
put it
Yeah.
in, just cover it with water, bring it to a rolling boil, turn it off, lid for 10 minutes
10 minutes,
exactly.
okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then you peel it. Do you peel it under?
Peel it
cold-
and put mustard on it.
Mustard. That's a good idea. But yeah.
The egg situation. The other one that's hard, it's tricky, and it always looks so good is when somebody does a soft boiled egg and they put it in an egg cup and
Oh,
they
yeah.
can
Oh, yeah, that's
delicately
very
open
British.
it. It's so,
They,
and you
that's
dip
very
your
British.
bread.
That's
It
what
is
they
British.
do. They have soldiers. They
Yeah, the-
Toast
they call it
soldiers, yeah.
soldiers. You have that thing, and I never could quite perfect that thing of putting your spoon in and not
Not getting
the shell.
Yeah,
But
me
I
either.
sure wish I could.
When you then started working, when you sort of then had domestic life
Mm-hmm.
in New York, and you were both working, did you fit food into that?
When you're working on a set,
Yeah.
so for 7 years we were on set. At
And was that 30 Rock?
30 Rock, yeah. And we.
But you did the music for 30
Yeah, and I
Rock.
was on the
Do
And were they
Directing
were
there,
they
too.
all good eaters? Was Alec?
Yeah, I mean, we all love food. Alec loves food.
Alec loves food.
And it was that neighborhood at the time is in Long Island City. It's grown a lot, but at that time it was a real kind of food desert. There wasn't a place to order in from, whatever. And so we'd have catered lunch that was, geez, and then we had an amazing woman. I've probably talked about her a lot. I can't, forgive me if I repeat, but this woman, Angel, who was, so you have your catered lunch, but you also have what they call craft services, which is a table just of constant snacks, and they bring different things out. And it really is what, when you're having a long, arduous day, it's one of your biggest joys, and you're like, Angel's walking around with garlic knots or whatever. And she was from Long Island, and she would bring in all these Italian delights from Long Island, like fresh, like breads and
Like
tomato
real
pie and
Goodfellas kind of
mozzarella.
stuff,
Yeah,
like-
real good.
I don't know where she was getting all this delicious food. But
And and like
You were
Italian
really, like-
cookies and stuff, and it was your only joy. Yeah, and so there was almost never any meal at home like during that time.
But I think creatively, how you work within food and being hungry or not wanting to eat. Some people don't want to eat when they're acting. People I've talked to say they don't like to eat.
Well, sometimes
while
if
they're
you're
working.
acting, you don't want to feel you weighed down or have a
Yeah.
heavy meal. It's a being a writer / performer all that time was tricky because if I'm writing, I absolutely have to carb load. I truly,
do.
I think my brain needs like
the
bagels.
dopamine or whatever.
Yeah.
It needs bagels to function.
Yeah.
And then if you're an actor, you think like, well, I still need my costume to fit or whatever.
Yeah,
But I mean,
yeah.
I never was successful back 20 years ago when everyone was on like Atkins and stuff. Like, I can't do that because my brain won't work.
When I'm working, I use food as my reward at the end of everything. So I try not to eat or snack or do anything too much. I don't make coffee and stuff, but I'm really looking forward to, I'm going to push through, and then I'll go a little late, and about 8 o'clock, I'll go in, I'll make myself a nice little one-person dinner. It's my favorite
Sometimes
thing.
I'll be-
and I may
sometimes it's
have
like
a little
11
and have
o'clock.
a cocktail with that, and I feel that's what I've worked all day for. This is what I've worked for.
Yeah, you always would rather delay having the nice meal to the end rather than taking a dinner break. So oftentimes if we're really like working hard on something, I'll be going to bed and Jeff will be like frying a steak and and to me I'm like that seems like a nightmare.
Let's talk about Mean Girls and food
Okay.
and the musical and what it's like doing. Is this your first experience of working in Britain and London?
Right.
Tell me about that.
I love it. I think it's the most charming. That area, I mean, we're staying over, of course, in the West End and the theater district, and I just love it. I love walking around. The food is great. On your recommendation, I've eaten so much at Jay Shiki's that they know me when I
Good.
come in.
Oh, there we are. See, we like a regular.
A regular, and they say,
place.
so,
Yeah.
you dressed so nice tonight. Thank you, and come in. So I like having a place to go like
you
that.
do.
You know?
And then it's been sort of been like room service breakfast and a
Room
late
service
meal,
breakfast.
and that's probably
That's it for me.
been it for you.
Room
What do
service,
you-
breakfast, late meal.
No lunch.
what do you get? Things
Now I've
that's-
been not doing a big lunch. Or
We were
anything.
out. Rehearsals were out by the National Youth Theater. It's a space that we were using, so it was up in Camden.
Yeah.
And we didn't really know where to get lunch.
There was hardly anywhere to go.
I found a Greek bakery, though. I went and got
good.
and
Good.
Casey Nicola, our director, who's also Greek, we destroyed a box of Greek cookies one day.
What are Greek cookies? I don't know.
There are lots of kinds, but they're all similar, I would say, to Italian cookies. They're not overly sweet.
They're great.
And so tell me about the musical. Tell
Okay.
me about what it is.
Sure. Okay, so the musical is Mean Girls, and it's adapted from the 2004 movie that I wrote back in the days that originally starred Lindsay Lohan and Rachel McAdams, and we did it as a Broadway musical. It was extremely successful there. We were nominated for 12 Tony Awards, and it's basically taking these characters that many people know the movie, especially like, millennials.
Yeah.
Feel a lot of ownership of the movie, and letting new actors sort of make them their own, and having the characters sing. And Jeff wrote all of the music with our lyricist Nell Benjamin, who she also was part of the team that did Legally Blonde, which I know people loved over here. And Casey Nicola, our director, directed Book of Mormon and Aladdin, all these successful shows. And the show itself, it is a really fun, joyful, energetic musical. There's a lot of great dance. It is, again, it's just like young people with so much life in them.
Yeah. And it's very funny too. So
Thank you. And they're funny.
they're funny people. That is another thing. They are all funny people.
Yeah.
And it is like the movie. I tell people, it's a PG-13. You can bring your 12, 13-year-old kids, it will be fine. You can also come with your lady friends. I said we used to find in New York, we had a lot of hen parties would come.
Did you? Yeah, of course you did.
Would be wonderful chaos. It's just a really good, fun evening out, and we've continued to work on it. We did a movie version of the musical that came out this past January that also was successful.
Great movie.
And
Great.
so, thank you.
Yeah, it was a great
And
movie.
so we took some stuff that we learned in that process. We never stopped kind of
tinkering and
improving. And I think it continues to get better. So this London version is, I think, even more refined and tuned up than the Broadway version.
Yeah, I think the storytelling, because we decided we really did that thing where you realize there's just too much. If we can get rid of some things and say we don't need as many songs, we can tell the story better. I just think it just moves so quickly. It feels like this is the version.
That's the learning curve for me as the book writer, because that's the first and only movie I've written is Mean Girls, and took me a long time. It was hard to. Yeah. Because for comedy people, writing sketch comedy, you don't ever think about telling a story. Like, story is your enemy in sketch comedy. And so then I had to figure, like, how do I tell this story? And then to take what in a movie is a 3-act structure and you have to turn it into a 2-act structure, it's honestly taking me this many years to sort of be like, oh, right, we can, like, to figure out.
3 acts to 2 acts is so troubling.
It's a real pain in the butt.
It's a real pain.
It's taking a book and saying, I'm going to knock out 4 chapters, or
absolutely,
take
and I'm gonna
the ending and put it in the middle, or whatever.
Right, and move things in the house of cards of even this story of teenage drama. I'm like, it still has to make sense in its plotting, and my brain is so slow on that kind of thing.
And so in 2004, there was a lack of probably knowledge, the way we've grown about body image, the way young girls are thinking about the way they dress and not being constrained by the way their weight is, or looking at fashion magazines and advertising and high school image and whatever, that was in 2004, 20 years later. There's still a long way to go, probably, but we have reached a different level of looking at some of the issues that you looked at in 2004. Did you adapt it, or did you not?
Yes, we do. Some of the sabotage that happens in the original movie still happens. Regina is still saying I need to lose 3 pounds, because again, we talk about food noise that people experience, and I do think the younger generations are much healthier with their body acceptance, but at the same time, it's still. Body shaming still exists. So I think it is still something that young women struggle with. Some young women try to shape their bodies to wherever the Kardashians are telling them to go now. It was, we took our butts out. Everyone take your butts out now. So there's still a lot of weird body scrutiny and issues for women. But it's funny because I've seen people sort of looking back at the original saying, oh my gosh, it's so insane when, Regina supposedly has gained weight in the original and, looks a very healthy size. And to me, I'm like, no, that was always part of the joke, was that how insane this is, that this young, healthy woman is mortified by her body being that much bigger. That was always part of the I don't want to say satire, but it is. It's that's how insane it is that this woman who has everything and is perfect is thinking that she needs to lose 3 pounds. Yeah. And if any, it's only ever been meant to highlight how stupid that is, and to hopefully you can recognize it and laugh about it and discard that behavior going forward. Yeah.
Well, I just have one last question to ask you, because I ask it to everybody, and then we'll go and have some food. Is that if you if things aren't going well, or if you've had a bad day, or you're worried about something and you want to think about what you can do, you can call a friend, you can call Tina, you can go to bed and sleep it off, but you might also want to eat something. And so if there was something that you would turn to for kind of I guess we can call it comfort. Is there something that from your childhood you'd go back to, or right now? Or I remember yours was the Greek pie. Was it?
Spanakopita?
It
probably?
was. Yeah, I think it was. I think.
Right.
Would that still be the case, or is there?
I had some for sure. I've just been on Fire Island again recently, and for whatever reason, our town in Fire Island has the best fresh bagels that come over on the boat every morning. So I would say a fresh, soft sesame bagel with whipped Tempty cream cheese.
Yeah, that's right. That sounds great.
For
me, it would be not that I eat a lot of pizza, but if it's late at night, I would go, I want to order a delicious, thin, crisp, out of a hot oven pizza and not worry about anything, because that would be my.
Pizza's good.
Pizza is good.
Pizza's good. It's like tomato pasta or pizza or the
right,
carbs.
right.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, I'll see you opening night. Let's go have
Yes.
something
Yes.
to eat.
Let's do it.
Thank
Hurrah.
you.
Thank you, Ruthie.
Thanks,
Great.
Ruthie. That was nice. It was fun.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Ruthie's Table 4 in partnership with Moncler.